Coming to you live at the Australian Property Chat. Now, if you're watching live, please type in hashtag live. Now, a lot of people watch our replays. If you're watching our replays, just type in hashtag replay just so I know that you're watching.
Property guru George Markoski from Positive Property Solution joins us now. George, good morning to you.
How are you, George?
Our goal, our unstoppable mission is to empower 10,000 Australians to create financial freedom through investing in property using the Markoski method. Okay guys, we've got 10 seconds left. Can't wait to show you a great, amazing session tonight. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, hello.
Hello. Hey guys, welcome. Christina Markoski and George Markoski here, joining you live.
From Positive Property. Now, look, if you're watching live, please type in hashtag live so I know that you're here. And if you're watching the replay, as many of you do, and I just want to keep an eye on you, so type in hashtag replay and welcome. Now, a little bit cryptic with today, but let me explain. Right, because you might read title.
You're selling your kids, aren't you, George?
Well, after I sold my kids, this happened to me, right? So I want to tell you what happened after I sold my kids. Because a lot of people don't realize I did have kids, which I don't. But let me explain how this played out, because it happened last week to me. And when you might have a little bit of a chuckle. I just need to find the page because I've lost it now.
Interesting. Yes, I'm very curious. Is this like a metaphor for something in your life? Are you actually talking about your children?
So let me explain. Last week, someone named Jason EJ, he replied to one of our emails. I was saying, would you like to create freedom through property? One of our standard emails that we send out. It wasn't me personally, obviously, it was our autoresponder. And he wrote back, all caps, by the way, because he was angry. And he's like, easy for you to retire on property, you probably have no kids. Trying to do it with 3 kids is impossible. Like, F you, he said. And he said, how many kids do you have? I'm thinking, normally I don't see these emails, but it came across. And you know what I wrote?
What?
I wrote, I sold mine for beer money a long time ago, right?
Okay.
Anyway, his twisted replies, well done, bro. So actually, funny enough, that changed his whole attitude, right? But obviously, I didn't sell my kids for beer money a long time ago because I don't have any kids. But we're both going to hell for this. But the thing in moving on, what I'm going to say is like, sometimes you're going to have a bit of fun with it. We've got a lot of haters out there, and I'm getting more creative when I say hello to them, when I talk to them, which is interesting. But did you hear the news?
What news?
Okay, big split happening at the moment. I'm going to tell you guys.
Big split.
Yeah, before I go ahead, what I want to do is I'm going to tell you about some interesting trends happening worldwide, which may have a big impact on property. So stay tuned and listen carefully. This could impact you. Unfortunately, It's not good news, bad news.
Oh, damn. I was hoping for some good news tonight, George. What are you doing?
No. I've also got a bit of stuff, what's happening in Australia at the moment. I've got some good news about Australia, bad news worldwide. I'll show it to you. However,
there's a massive property boom happening in Australia at the moment.
Yes, there is. But there's some, hey guys, how you doing? Listen, so guess who split? I'm shocked. Bill and Melinda Gates have filed for divorce.
Really?
Yes.
Are you serious?
Yep.
Is this legit?
This is legit.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's sad.
So Bill Gates, the world's 4th richest person, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he's got like nearly $170 billion worth, right?
Yep.
He was once the richest person, but then he gave all his money away. And so what happened was him and Melinda, because they've been so busy doing other things, they haven't really kindled the relationship for a while.
Right.
So I don't know if you know, but Bill Gates, he started Microsoft. Obviously, he's a bit of a genius. He's a visionary. And what happened was Melinda, she worked for Microsoft, and they met in a company dinner.
Yes.
So they started dating and all that. And Bill Gates is quite analytical. So what he did is she came over to his house. He had a big whiteboard out with pros and cons of getting married to her. and the pros outweighed the cons, so he proposed and married her.
How romantic! Not.
I know, but typical of a tech genius.
And that was how he proposed.
Yes, so he may be the fourth richest now, but after he gets divorced to Melinda, he may go down a peg or two. But look at the guy that owns Amazon, Jeff Bezos. Jeff Bezos, he broke up with his wife, Mrs. Scott, and because he was the richest man in the world, he broke up, but he stayed the richest. He gave her 4%, which was $36 billion, which made her the third richest woman in the world. Wow, hey?
With just 4%, that's massive.
4%. Yeah. So, but Mr. and Mrs. Gates, they've given a lot of their stuff away anyway because they love to give. And, I love what they do. So what Bill Gates and Melinda Gates, they started the Gates Foundation, and they give a lot of money. I think, no, I'm joking. There's a lot of people have been saying that. But he's actually been creating new toilet for people in Africa to stop them going and using holes. But also that they've talked other people are giving money away, like that guy, the real rich guy, the diversification guy. I've forgotten his name now, but I'll think of it. But anyway, talking about giving, we're giving away as well a lot of stuff. Not a lot of my wealth, but what I'm doing is we're building a house. We're not building a house. We're building a school.
We're building a school in Cambodia, actually.
That's right, for children.
So, no, that's really exciting. Part of my values and what I really love to do is give back. So we're part of a company called B1G1, and each time a member gets another investment property, they automatically donate 100 bricks towards building a school in Cambodia. So that's a nice little way of, giving back and knowing that, I think we're so fortunate here to live in Australia and to even have the opportunity to get to the next level in our lives with being able to invest in property and be in that position. We're very fortunate just to, be living in Australia and to be born here or to live here as we do. But there's people in the third world that, they haven't even got their basic needs met yet. So to help them get to the next level. And I think one of the best ways to do that is through education and through educating children. So building a school in Cambodia just really aligned with my vision and how I want to give back, and how George and I with Positive Property want to, build a better world.
Absolutely. But talk about building a better world. I want to talk about the state of the market. I want to talk about some of the economic forces that are shaping what's happening at the moment. So,
well, I'm really curious to hear about this too.
Yes, and we'll get back to Bill Gates later, but Bill, you have to wait for a while. We've actually, over the last 18 years, we've had the strongest growth in 18 years in property in Australia right now.
Awesome.
So all the capital cities are going full steam ahead at the moment.
Yes.
So nationally, prices rose 5.7%.
Okay. That doesn't sound that huge.
Annual gains are hitting double digits.
Right.
It's crazy. Yep. So that's pretty amazing. You know what I mean? So it's huge. So basically booming, right? It's going to crack 1 million. The median price range of a property in Australia is going to crack 1 million. I
believe that. Absolutely. Being a millionaire isn't very exciting anymore because almost everyone in Australia is a millionaire. If you've got 1 or 2 properties, then hello.
If someone's not a millionaire, it's probably pretty exciting. Right?
Billionaire is the new millionaire.
Yep. So the boom is well and truly cracking. So is there any chance the government might get involved and try to cool down the market again? Right?
I don't think so.
Because what they did, I don't know if you know, in 2016, the government got involved and tried to cool down the market.
What did they do?
They put interest rates up.
Okay.
They made it harder to borrow money.
Right.
Cool down the market because they want to control the market.
Well, did it work?
No, it didn't work. Never does. They try to stimulate the market. They try to put it up. It doesn't work. But hey, that's what happened. So, but I don't think they're going to do anything at the moment. They're letting it go.
Yes.
So, but on a world scale, there's a lot of changes going on since Biden has taken over from Trump.
Oh, okay. This is fascinating, interesting. What's happening with American politics?
Well, I don't know if you noticed what's happened on the world scale over the last 40 years is corporate tax has been falling year after year.
Okay. Right?
And what it's called triple down economics. So
Oh,
what you
yes.
do is the wealthy, the people that have got businesses that employ people, you reduce their taxes so they can employ more people, and therefore you get more value in the marketplace, right? And that's what's made countries like America some of the richest countries in the world.
Yes.
Unfortunately, though, with America, unlike Australia, there's a bit of a wealth disparity where here in Australia, we've got quite a large middle class portion,
Yes.
massive middle class, which is a good thing because,
There's a massive disparity in America with, the super rich and the super poor. So it's pretty crazy, the difference there.
Yeah.
Not just America, I think in quite a few countries.
See, there you go. There's someone that says, Daryl saying, I'm giving energy to my neighbours via solar. Well done, Daryl. Good work. Trump is still running, hey? Votes recounting still. Okay, we'll see what happens there.
What, again? Is he going to lose for the third time in a row, is he?
He still hasn't lost. He's going to be in there, right?
This is hilarious. But
Yeah,
what were you saying, George, about what's American politics got to do with affecting the rest of the world?
Oh, well, very, very a lot, because whatever America does, sooner or later, happens with the rest of the world.
Okay.
Right? So, for example, America legalized marijuana in many states. Now it's happening around the world. America legalized gay marriage, happening around the world. When America started dropping corporate taxes.
Yeah.
So what America does, a lot of other Western world follow, right? That's just the thing. So what's happened is the last 4 decades, France, Germany, Ireland, Japan, UK, US have all been going down, right? 40 years ago, the corporate tax in Germany was 55%.
Okay.
How big is that?
It's massive.
It's huge.
Yeah.
Yep. So basically,
well, when you think about it, individuals in Australia who earn a salary of over $200,000 per year have to pay 47% tax. So that's like almost 50%. Like, hello.
Exactly.
That's massive.
And look, the fact of it is, if you look at this is the problem with South Australia and why South Australia has been behind economically to the rest of Australia, is because we've always had bigger taxes here. So, I mean, South Australia had a payroll tax. So if you hired over a certain amount of people, you'd get disincentivized because you had to pay more tax.
Stupid.
Yes, because you can't tax your wealth to prosperity. It's never happened.
No.
But that's what a lot of governments try to do. So, I mean, who agrees with not Bin Laden, I mean, Biden. Calling him Bin Laden, that was bad. But who agrees with Biden? Should we tax corporates more? Or, so someone's saying, do you reckon Melinda Gates is available?
We'll have to get back to you on that one, on the status of, yes, her dating status.
Yeah, I wonder what a dating status on Facebook is. It's complicated, right?
Yeah. So talking about, should we tax businesses, or are you talking about should we tax big corporates? What was your question?
Yeah, so the thing is, Biden wants to tax corporates a higher amount. Is that a good idea or a bad idea? I don't think you can't tax yourself into prosperity. I really think that having less taxes is better. But I do believe that, we can't have all the money going in corporates. I think the middle class and the rest of everyday Australians or citizens should have a share of the pie.
Absolutely. It's got to be more proportionate, especially because we're such a resource-rich country, but we don't get a share in any of those resources, any of the profits going overseas.
Exactly.
Which is just ludicrous.
And you look at Norway, right? Norway, they actually give all their money.
That's what I was going to mention. Yeah, we should just emulate Norway. Hello.
They've got the biggest fund in the world, which they funded on charging all the petroleum companies lots of money. Right?
Yeah. Every Australian should be getting a cut of our resources.
Yes, that's right. So I think it's instead of just, Clive Palmer and what's that lady called again? The richest lady in Australia.
Gina Rinehart,
people like that. Exactly.
Yeah, they've got enough money.
Exactly.
Share the wealth.
But see, look, this is the deal. When you've got people like the guys that started Google or Facebook right? They actually, the way they make their money is by giving lots of value to the world.
Yes.
Right? You think about, you think about Google. Google gives you access to everything around the world. So you're getting lots of value. So I think billionaires that are adding value are excellent. And we want more billionaires to add value. And look, I'd like to be a billionaire to add value if I was to be a billionaire, but even we want more millionaires to add value. And I like adding value because if you can make money by adding value to the world, it's a positive plus a positive. But if you're just pulling stuff out of the ground and selling it and giving no one a cut, then you're not really adding a lot of value.
No, there's no value add there.
They're actually taking value out of Australia and giving it to other countries. Yes. Yep.
Absolutely.
I believe in multiple businesses, not monopolies. Yeah, I totally agree. I think we need to have competition, and competition is very important. And I think we don't want oligarchies or anything like that. Oligopolies. I can't even say the word. So I guess this is the deal. The boom is well on its way, right? And what a lot of people don't understand about this is a thing called opportunity cost. And that's what I want to discuss tonight, right? Because a lot of people aren't clear on how this works, right? But there's the main reason why people don't achieve what they want in life. It's also one of the biggest mistakes that property investors can make. You know what that is?
Sitting on the sidelines and doing nothing.
Having a huge amount of uncalculated opportunity cost. Right? So not even knowing. Okay,
not knowing what they're missing out on.
Thank you. You're already adding value, so you're on your way, George Markoski. Thank you so much. I'm very appreciative.
Yes.
But see, if you don't know what you're missing out on, that's even worse than knowing what you're missing out on because you can't act on it, right?
Yeah.
You know how they say you don't know what you don't know, right?
Yes.
But see, opportunity cost resides in the comforting bosom of inaction. I had to use the word bosom tonight. I couldn't help it. Right? And some people choose to do nothing. Right? But they don't realize that choosing nothing is still choosing something, but it's just nothing. It's a bit like when you're sitting on the fence. Sitting on the fence is the worst, right?
But you're still choosing to sit on the fence.
Yeah. And, someone's saying idle cash because too scared to act. Yes, that's one of them. But another person's saying, how do you know if you don't know? Well,
great question. It's about getting educated.
It's about getting out there. It's about coming on our podcast, Positive Property Podcast, or coming on our channel, Australian Property Chat. But how do you know you don't know? Well, I'm going to try to explain it to people and do the calculation.
Because you don't know what you don't know. We're here to help you know.
Yep. So I'm going to go through a scenario, and I want you to listen carefully and see if you are part of the scenario or not, right? So if you've got a job and you're earning over $49,000 a year, and if you've got some assets, whether a house, a mortgage, a deposit, parents with equity, several, what do you call it? Not properties, cars or jet skis or motorbikes and stuff like that. It means you've got some sort of way of getting a deposit, and you've got an income that can support a property. If that's you, then you've probably got the ability to invest, right? Whether it's 300 or 500,000, somewhere there. But I'm going to use 500 just to keep the numbers simple. But if you can't afford 500, you can probably afford 300, because actually $300,000 property, if you were paying 5%, what's that? That's like $15,000 plus costs, right? So I'm not going to get in how to do that in this session, but I just want to talk about hypothetically, right? So let's say, for example, you get a $500,000 property. And that
George, should you get your iPad to demonstrate what you're talking about?
Not with this program at the moment we're using.
Okay.
Yep. So I'm going to enlighten everyone. Ignorance is bliss. Easy to look the other way and not think about it. Yes. So let's say, you look what's been happening lately in property, right? You can easily see that if you had a $500,000 property in 2 or 3 years, it'd go up 100,000, right? Right. So let's say you didn't buy that property worth 500, right? And the next 3 years you do sweet FA, you do what you normally do.
You do zero.
Or go home, watch TV, have a few beers, whatever, right? But the deal is, you not taking action is costing you $100,000. Now, wow, it's a lot of money. So if someone said, hey, I'll give you 100,000, you get off your ass and do this and do that, they're going to go, wow, I'm going to do this. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Right. But you don't know. Now, this is the deal. Properties double every 7 or 10 years. So the real opportunity cost, if you were to buy a $500,000 property, is $500,000 in 10 years' time. How big's that?
It's massive.
But not only
That's
that.
just the calculations on one property, though.
That's right.
So
Yep.
if you don't buy 2 properties, you're missing out on $1 million.
Yep. Now, this is the deal. We're about to hit the biggest boom in history.
It's already started.
We have, exactly. But I've been talking about this for a while, and it's hit. And it's right. But listen to this. Now, the deal is, right, we're about to hit the biggest property boom in 50 years. So if you're under 50, this is your first opportunity to hit a boom this big. But you've probably gone through a few booms and missed them. 10 years or so. So what you do is get your age divided by 10, and that's how many booms you've missed out on if you're not a multimillionaire out of property at the moment. Do that exercise. How many have you missed out on? Right? Now, if you missed out on those booms before you met me and you didn't know about it, it's not your fault. But if you miss out on this one, it is. Right? So this is the deal. You've got to understand is there are 2 major opportunity costs. Right? One is financial and the other one's emotional. Right? So they're like big headlines. They're falls in 2 categories. Right? So the financial implication opportunity cost is essentially your financial trade-off to sit and do nothing. Correct? This is why I see it. And there are 2 questions you should answer. What is the value of the time you're spending?
Yeah.
Are you actually doing the right stuff to get where you want to go? Right?
Making sure you get the right ROI on your time is very important, because you can spend a lot of time, but the results are the most important thing. So it's about realizing, maximizing your time and really leveraging that to get the best results possible.
That's right. Yep. So someone said, when you don't know what to do, but you know you need to do something, look for someone that has achieved what you want to and copy them, i.e. copy George. Well, beautiful. And look, I'm not a good friend of mine, an acquaintance of mine, someone that I've met a few times, Anthony Robbins. I'd be lying if I said he's a good friend because I don't know him that well. He probably wouldn't remember my name, but he'd probably recognize me if I saw him face to face. But he wouldn't remember my name. But anyway, Tony Robbins, copying someone, yes, that's partly there. But you know what Tony Robbins says? What you do is you need to model success.
Yes.
And modeling success is really key, and it's very important. It's very important to model success and
absolutely
and model them, because copying, there's some connotations of copying, and there's nothing wrong with copying. You know what I mean? If someone's got $1 million walk and he walks funny, would you walk funny? You know what I mean?
You just want to do the important stuff.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Right? Jim Rohn talks about the $1 million walk. It's funny. Yeah. So dollars versus time and opportunity cost, and that's what we're going to think about.
Yeah.
And, what we're going to do is we're going to think about our opportunity cost now with the property market, what's happening, and what's going to happen with opportunity cost. And really, at the end of the day, you need to really try to get out of your comfort zone, because, the emotional cost of missing opportunity is even bigger. Right? Because what happens is I meet a lot of people. We have a lot of people joining our program, 4 or 5 every week at the moment currently, because it's going crazy. Our phones are off the hook. And I every now and again talk to some people when they join and have a chat to them. And one of the things I hear all the time, they're like, George, I wish I did this 10 years ago. I wish, what I mean? Right? Because you know what they say, when's the best time to invest in property?
A lot of people say to me, oh, Christina, I think it's too late. I think I'm too old. And I'm going, you've still got, 10 years left before retirement. Better late than never. So, you know, you may think it's late in the piece, but imagine if you do nothing and then get to retirement. You're going to be much worse if you do nothing.
Yeah. Everyone said
So-
read the best books. Lol, I love that book, Freedom Through Property. Changed my partner's life.
Oh, amazing. Thank you so much.
20 years ago was the best time to invest in property, someone wrote. Yes.
Absolutely.
And what's the second best time?
Right now. That's right.
That's right.
We can all wish for a time machine. Yes. But there's another property boom going to happen. It's going to keep happening. You know, no matter what happens long term in Australia, it's always the right time to invest because it's always going to go up. It's always going to make you money. It's just about getting started and getting into the market. That's the most important thing.
And look, the deal is, I was talking about it with Ryan today, funny enough. You look at a lot of the world and the economics, and you can see, look at Europe. Property prices have gone down.
Right.
And also Tokyo as well. And there's one main reason they've gone down there. It's not the economy. It's because the population keeps going down.
Interesting.
You can't have property price going up, the population going down. So what we're going to do now is, I've had my little rant talking about opportunity cost. We talked about Melinda and Bill Gates getting divorced and Jeff Bezos and his divorce. We spoke about what's happening on the world stage with corporate tax. And, you know, this could be interesting. We're going to go back and look towards now and see if it happened. I think the Republicans are going to block what Joe Biden wants to do, but I think he's going the wrong way. I understand what he's trying to do, is trying to balance out that disparity in America. Don't know if he's doing it the right way. We're going to start asking a few questions because tonight is our monthly Sherp. And in 15 minutes time, we have to go to our black belt group and we're going to talk to our black belt members and help them solve their real estate challenges because they're paying members. But I want to answer a few quick questions.
Yeah, great.
Okay, here we go. We've got Michael Garland. Hi, Michael. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Michael. Thanks for tuning in tonight.
I'm 34 years old and single. Should I buy investment property or PPOR first or
principal place of residency?
It doesn't matter. Yeah, good. So thank you. I didn't know what that meant. Yeah. Okay. So look, good question, Michael. Great question. It depends on your income, but this is the deal. Michael, what happens is, if you look at Robert Kiyosaki, one of my mentors, this is the one thing he stresses over and over again, is your principal place of residence is not an investment.
No.
It's a cost. It's a liability. Now, long term, it does go up in value, but it costs you money. You have to pay out of your own pocket because what happens is, normally, if you've got a normal job, what happens is you pay your super, pay your tax, and then you use your post-tax dollars to buy all your stuff, and then what's left over, you pay for your mortgage, which is normally sweet FA, and you're getting no help, which is really crazy because you're not using leverage. Because what's the most important thing is leverage. Michael, this is the important thing. I did not build a multi-million-dollar property portfolio on my own at all. Did not do that. I had a team of people helping me. The more people you got helping you, the better. So what I like to do is I like the bank, the finance, the tenant, the tax man, the property manager, circle of safety, everyone else doing the heavy lifting. What I do is I do the important thing, which is make a decision to buy a property. It's going to go up in value. That's the hard part, committing and doing that. That's my contribution. Everyone else contributes everything else, right? And what you really want to do, Michael, and if you watch, if you go to my YouTube channel, I actually did a presentation on the Today Show with Stefanovic, wasn't it? And the other lady?
Carl and Georgie, yeah.
Yeah, Carl and Georgie. And Georgie actually called me a property guru, Australia's property guru, which I was quite happy about. Not that I'm your guru. But anyway, basically 40 to 50,000 a year. Yep, great. So you're paying tax. And really what you're doing at the moment, Michael, is that tax money you can't get back. Every year you're giving the ATO money week after week, year after year, right?
Yeah.
And it is, what you want to do is stop that hemorrhaging, because there's only two things you can do with your money, your tax money. Give it to Scott Morrison, right?
Good old ScoMo.
Or you can put it into property. We've got great people,
Oh, absolutely.
right? And so, Michael, imagine if you could put $85 a week into property. You got the tax doing that. You got your tenant doing it. Imagine if you had your tenant and the taxman paying off the property for you, and you didn't have to lift a finger, and you just had to sit there and reap the rewards. And in 7 to 10 years' time, that property you bought, whether it's 350, 400,000, is going to be worth double. Right. And then,
but the beautiful part about getting an investment first is the fact that it's the gift that keeps giving. You're going to be getting rent coming in every week. You're going to be getting tax dollars coming in every week, and you're going to get capital growth long term because you're buying your investment property where it's going to make you money. Whereas the place where you want to live might not be in a suburb that has high capital growth because it's an emotional decision. It's just where you want to live. It's not based on numbers or research or anything really.
Can I make a confession?
Go for it.
I confess. Okay, let me confess something because a lot of people ask me about this, and I want to confess and open up. I'll talk about the elephant in the room. Okay, I'm going to confess. Right, I own my own property. Right, and a lot of people are going to say, George, you're telling everyone to rent and buy a property. Why are you owning a property? And I want to lay this down and explain to people because you need to know this. Because I like to be, I like to be authentic, and I want people to know the story. I'm not going to pretend. I'm not going to be like Grant Cardone and pretend that I, rent, but really own my own property. No, he stopped doing that now. He actually admitted that he owns it too, which is good. So this is the deal. I own my own property, and why am I telling you not to own your own property? Why this disparity? I'm going to tell you the truth. I didn't own my own property. I rented for a long time. I rent vested, right? So what I did is I lived where I wanted to live, which saved me $150,000 a year because I live on the beach. I live in a very expensive house on the beachfront, no road, no nothing. Like we got sand in the house. Pretty awesome. And then what I did is the reason I own my own house is because I've earned the right because I've become a multimillionaire in property. And what's the point of having a shit ton of money if you can't enjoy yourself and spend it?
Yes.
So,
but you're doing that off the back of having more than 10 properties in your portfolio.
Off the back of having a whole pile of big portfolio of property.
Yes.
I've got 39 now. I've got lots of properties, and 10 of my properties pay for my house on the beach.
And they pay for your PPR, yeah.
That's right. So what you need to do is rent vest and buy investment property. And when these investments can support your lifestyle and living where you want to live, once you deserve it, once you earn it, then you buy and own and occupy. But until you earn your right, don't you dare think about buying and owning and occupy because you're just putting yourself in a hole and you're going to spend 25 years wasting your time trying to pay off this stupid friggin' mortgage, right? I'm very passionate about this because people get caught up. And I meet so many people that go, oh, I'm going to buy a house and I'm going to save every cent. I'm not going to go out. I'm going to pay off my house. And then when I pay off my house, I'm going to buy investment property. Yeah, but what's the point when you're 65, right? Right?
It's too late.
Right? So
that ship has sailed.
Look, they've got it completely wrong, and they've got it wrong because of fear, right? The point is, right, what you need to do is you need to get in that market as soon as possible because the property market keeps growing, and the sooner you're in there, the better, as long as you do it properly. So caveat, don't jump in and get rushed. Do the research, do what needs to happen, and make sure you're in the top 100 suburbs, and make sure you do your cash flow calculator and keep yourself safe. Please do that because do not invest irresponsibly. Do not invest without getting experts to help you. Do not invest unless you're totally comfortable, you know what you're doing, and you can easily afford it so you can't lose. Because number one investment is don't lose any money. Rule number one, right? You got to really remember that rule, right? Don't lose any money. Once you get past that rule, then you can follow the other rules. But that's the number one rule. And most people forget that rule. 2/3 of people in Australia that are investing in property, 2/3. So if you had 3 people in a room, 2 of them are losing money in property.
That's crazy.
In pain, and they suck. Now, you know what? All our members, every single one of them, they're extremely successful and extremely grateful in property.
Yeah.
That's one thing I'm very proud of. We've got a massive success rate. 98% of our members within 12 months end up with a property that's making them money.
Pretty awesome. But what I suggest, Michael, if you haven't already, check out our 14-day challenge. It's really a good place to start to get your foundations of what you should and shouldn't do when it comes to property. And that question is a big one. And it's a question that, you know, you're at a fork in the road, and the decisions you make now are going to affect you for the rest of your life, either in a negative way or a really positive way. And it's going to be life-changing if you take that fork in the road that leads you to financial freedom. And I think, look, the best way you can get educated about making the right decisions is to check out our 14-day challenge.
Yep. So what I'm going to do is quickly answer one or two more questions, then we're going to finish. But you're absolutely right.
So if anyone else, not just for Michael, but anyone else watching wants to learn how to, you know, lay really strong foundations when it comes to getting educated and making the right decisions when it comes to property investing, just comment below #challenge, and our team will hook you up with the info for that.
Yep. So someone said, if I knew then what I know now, I would have been a rent investor. So what you recommend, selling or staying to own occupier? Look, the owner occupier, what you really need to do is look at where it is in the clock, find out how many assets you've got in there. It's complicated. I can't really answer that question without knowing the whole situation, because many times, look, I don't like selling property, full stop, right? Property millionaires don't sell property, they buy property.
Because you make your money when you buy property.
Yep.
And you should only sell if you absolutely have to. And it should be based off the back of a lot of solid research.
Exactly. So personally, I try to stay away from actually selling property at all. So what you look at is, if you've got an owner occupier, find out where it is, how much it's worth. Is it cheaper or more expensive renting somewhere else? So it could be any of the above. What I suggest you do is do the 14-day challenge, and that will actually help you get clarity, so then you'll know what your goal is. The fact of it is, guys, there's one thing that everyone needs to know. Unless you know your overarching goal, where you want to be in 10 to 20 years, right? If you don't know where you want to be in 10 or 20 years, then it's a bit hard to answer any questions about where you want to go. Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
You need to get clear.
Saying, what's going on with your hairline? I don't know. I've got a widow's peak.
So guys, comment below #challenge if you want to check out the challenge.
Yep. So yeah, put #challenge when you check out the challenge. We're going to go off to our black belt group very soon. What time is it? Yep, we've got 5 minutes.
Yeah, we've got about 5 minutes.
Guys, thank you so much for joining us. It's been great. Look, it's interesting what's happening now. We've got the highest growth we've had in 18 years. That's pretty amazing when you think about it here in Australia, what's happening. So seriously, we've got some big opportunities here, which is good for everyone. And the guys that haven't invested before, what you need to do is educate yourself. And I really suggest the 14-day challenge that I did. And the good part about the challenge is, you know, you don't have to pay for it until you finish anyway, right? That's the beauty of it. But you've got to think about the opportunity cost. With the challenge, it gives you a plan on exactly what you need to do to get where you want to get, which is great.
Awesome, guys. Well, thanks so much for joining us. I've had a ball. It's really great to catch up. Great to get back on these lives again. I know it's been a while since you guys have seen me.
Absolutely.
Don't forget to comment #challenge. If you're watching the replay, comment #teamreplay. Thanks for watching, and we will see you all very soon.
And look, if you're watching the replay, you can still type in #challenge. Our team will see it and help you and send you the link. Cheers.
We'll hook you up, guys. Have a good night.